Cashflow Pro offers free money management advice to help you take control of your finances. And now here's your host, personal finance enthusiast and licensed insurance broker, James Barber.
Hey James, Top Gun Bobby here. What are your thoughts on the 4% rule? Do you think it's a useful tool for determining retirement?
That's coming in later. Hit the wrong button there. Welcome to Oregon Cashflow Pro. My name is James Barber. I'm here to help you maximize your cash flow. How's everybody doing this evening? So we are here for our Wealthcare Wednesday live stream. We're here every Wednesday. Here to help you maximize your cash flow. So if you've got questions, anything financial related, lay it out there and we'll see if we can help you out. We do have at least one voicemail question that we'll be playing from last week. And you just heard a preview of that as it started to play when I switched screens. But we've been giving away prizes for this. Let me know if you can hear my voice okay. We had problems. We had a little bit of problems earlier on the last live stream. I got to make sure that you guys are hearing me. Because last week, I think I spoke for about 40 minutes before I realized it didn't start. The live stream did not start. And so it looks like it started this time. But go ahead and... All right, Nicole, good. Thank you. Is everything coming through loud and clear? Gotta make sure, because I can switch from this headset if the sound is not good. The sound should be nice and easy to hear. Sound should be nice and easy to hear. So, we do have at least one voicemail message that was left. The nice thing about that, the person who left that voicemail message gets to win a prize. The way that we're giving away... Yeah, YouTube was down about an hour ago. The way that we're giving away prizes these days is if you go to my website, OregonCashflowPro.com, on the side of either your browser or your phone, there's a little button and it says leave a voicemail message. And if you leave me a voicemail question that I can play during a live stream, you win a prize. And that prize will be one of the two books that's listed in my show description, Becoming Your Own Banker or The Retirement Miracle, or you can win anything from my Teespring marketplace. So it's easy. All you got to do is come up with a good question and go leave it in the voicemail for me to play. So yeah, Nicole, YouTube was down for about an hour ago. I had just uploaded a new video and I set it to instant premiere, and like this, I don't know, a couple of seconds later, YouTube went down. So my instant premiere was kind of a flop. At least it's back up now. So I would urge you guys to check out that video. That video was titled, Did Waka Flocka Flame Become His Own Banker? And here's a little bit of a spoiler. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But go listen to his own words. It was actually pretty cool to hear him talk about it. It was just a real short video that I put up. But I had stumbled across that, and I thought it was a neat thing other people need to know. He had talked about a friend of his becoming a financial historian. And he was like, financial historian? What is that? Well, a financial historian is somebody who studies the habits of the wealthy. And so that was what he said he ended up doing, and it helped him out. So yeah, Harry, YouTube started working again. I don't know, I think it started working again about a half hour ago. So thankfully in time that we could get our normal Wednesday live stream going. Although it seems like we've got less viewers because I think people got kicked off of YouTube and they just decided to go out and enjoy the weather. Haven't made it back yet. Still working on my Tesla Model Y video, the introduction one. Still working on that. Pretty interesting. Now, you two that I know are on here, you guys follow the market. And Nicole, you follow, I think, the Stock Guru. I've been following his videos, and it looks like he's helped you out a bit with learning how to read the market. And his video this morning on Tesla was like dead on, at least for what happened today. I think he said in his video this morning that he thought Tesla would probably hit about 418 today. And wouldn't you know it, that was the high of the day for Tesla. So if you guys get a chance, you should check out the Stock Guru channel. His name is James also. Wouldn't you know it? But he does really good analysis, and he breaks down. He just breaks down the companies that he's looking at and what he thinks is going to happen that day. And he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. So C, good evening. How you doing? Top Gun, there he is. How's it going? I started the video earlier and I started to play your question accidentally. But your question is going to be coming up. Your question is going to be coming up. But if anybody else has questions, it's late. Living the dream. Nice. It's a little late to get them into the voicemail for today's video. But if you leave me a voicemail message, you could get in on next week's video. BDN, how's it going? Good evening. Anyway, so it's a little late to get the actual live voicemail, but you're welcome to leave a question in the comments section. We'll do our best to answer it. And if it's something I don't know about, maybe somebody else in the audience knows some of that subject. But we've had some pretty wide-ranging discussions here. Anywhere from real estate to life insurance to auto leases, credit cards, dynamic banking, infinite banking. All of these things that are or can be instrumental in your financial future. One of the things I've been doing lately is I've been doing a deep dive into learning how to do options. Really enjoy all the different strategies of options that you can do in the stock market. Now, people are often surprised to see somebody who's an advocate of infinite banking playing around in the stock market. Well, I like to gamble also. I like to make sure I've got my money set aside and it's nice and safe and it's growing. It's guaranteeing my compounding. And then I also like to have some fun. So that explains that. And also I see a really good opportunity. It does take some effort though. It does take some effort. You know, a number of my clients are day traders. And so that kind of got me interested a little bit more into jumping in and playing around and seeing what I can do. Now I'm obviously nowhere near their level of expertise. But I think I've narrowed down some strategies that work well for me. And I'm enjoying them, and I'm going to see where they go. And I'm currently sharing those strategies little by little with the viewers here. But I laid out my whole strategy for the folks in our mastermind group, in our cash flow mastermind group, which is a part of our Patreon. We have a private Discord server. And if you join our Patreon, become a donating Patreon member for as little as $1, you too can have access to our private Discord server where we discuss the stock market. Harry says the Discord's well worth it. Yeah, we get a lot of good info put into there. A lot of good info. And Harry brings it. I'll tell you what. Harry wasn't around last week because he was out on vacation, but I'll tell you what. He called it nearly every day. You're there, so it must be worth it. Yeah. Well, you had a pretty nice record last week of calling what was going to happen in the market. And you were on vacation, which was pretty interesting. I was impressed. But you weren't online in order to share it with everybody. So you had to be in the Discord if people wanted to get that insight. Not that you're right every time, but you do bring some good analysis. BDN, James, is it cold down there? Yeah, it's a little chilly out here. That's why I wear my long sleeves tonight. Harry can do the technical analysis side easy. Just give him 5 minutes. Nice. Well, I enjoy it, and I'm definitely learning. And any of us who actually want to commit to doing better in our financial lives, we should be taking some time to learn new things, to learn what other people are doing. Try and figure out what is it that they're seeing that kind of gives them an advantage. Because every advantage that we can find out there, the much better off we're going to be for it. And the sooner we start taking advantage of it, the sooner we start using these ideas and these tips, the sooner we can start compounding the gains on all of that. Harry, just need to raise enough to start day trading. How have you not raised enough yet? Or how much are you trying to raise to day trade? I guess it's a little different because you're in the UK. Might be able to do it with less if you're able to play around with options. Although you get the contract for differences over there, so you might be able to. You might be able to get started even before we could, without having to play around with options. Well, let me get to our first question of the day. Might be our only question of the day, although I think I could probably dig something up. But let's get to our first question of the day from our good friend, Top Gun Bobby.
Hey, James, Top Gun Bobby here. What are your thoughts on the 4% rule? Do you think it's a useful tool for determining retirement, or do you use something else? Thanks.
Okay, did that come through? He asked about the 4% rule. What are my thoughts on it? How useful is it? And I'm a little bit mixed. I think it's fairly useful. I think that we have to know. Okay, good. I think we have to know what the rule was created for, what the parameters were when they determined the 4% rule. Long time ago, they used to just assume they could pull out 6% and be okay. And a lot of people did okay with that. Not everybody did, though. And then we kind of got into a different interest rate environment. And then they kind of switched to the 4% rule. Returns started coming down. And so they switched to the 4% rule. And basically, the 4% rule is, what are the odds that you're going to be able to live off of your retirement income, or your retirement, if you take an income of 4% each year? And it goes up with inflation. And what most of the analysis have determined is that you can do it at 4% and have a high likelihood of success. Now, that likelihood of success is going to depend on how many years you're trying to make it work for. And really, the models try to do it for 30 years. So it may not be an ideal situation for people who are trying to retire early and might have to go out longer than 30 years. Because the odds of success were like 98, 99%, I think, when they did the 30-year time frame. Now, obviously, you don't want to be a part of the 1% that it didn't work for. Those odds aren't good enough if you end up being a part of the 1%. So for me, I like to have it a little bit safer. And that just comes from not necessarily just going with a lower percentage, but don't have everything at risk in the stock market. That's where I come from. And so this is where we look at infinite banking and our IULs and our whole life policies, the cash value life insurance. If we use those to help supplement what we can create and grow for our wealth in the stock market, it actually provides a really nice backbone to that strategy. Because what happens is if you're in a whole life policy, you have guaranteed growth that's going to happen. If you're in an IUL, you're guaranteed that you're not going to go negative when the market goes negative. So what that means is when you get into retirement and you're relying on mostly your funds in the stock market, if the market crashes, you have an alternative area that you can pull from. So you can leave your money in the stock market for it to come back up over the next couple of years and take that opportunity to pull money out of your life insurance policies where they have not dropped, where the values have not dropped, and they will continue to grow. So if you're somebody who's building up your retirement in a retirement account looking to use the stock market and operate with the 1% rule, look to supplement at least a small portion of that inside a cash value life insurance policy. Now, it could be something else too. Maybe you do it in real estate, but you want to have it in something that's not correlated to the stock market that you can draw from if you need to. So maybe you have a retirement portfolio of rental houses that are all paid off, in which case maybe you only need to worry about pulling out extra income from the stock market. And if the stock market crashes, no big deal. But on the flip side, maybe you can take out a home equity line of credit if the market crashes, or a reverse mortgage or something else that you're going to have access to that money regardless of whether the market's up and down. The risk when it comes to using real estate or relying on a line of credit or something like that is if the market really tanks and we're in a big recession or a depression, credit might be hard to come by. So for me personally, this is where I'm building up my life insurance policies. I have 8 policies currently, and I plan to continue expanding those as I go, because as soon as I get those going, they're going to be compounding for the rest of my life. I know that regardless of what I do, I'm leaving a legacy gift to my kids because I have that death benefit. So even if all my financial goals aren't successful, at least I can pass a nice chunk of change along just as if they were. So that's how I'm covering my end as far as that goes. 4% rule, I will probably do something similar to the 4% rule. It just depends. Currently, the way I'm playing around in the stock market, I'm using options and I'm doing it to get income, regular income, and I'll probably have something set up similar to that if it's still around. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can approach the stock market if you're willing to spend the time at it. But for folks that are just put your money in an index fund and get the gains from that each year, which is a lot of people because they prefer to have that passive approach to investing, 4% rule could work great. Maybe you do the 3% rule. Maybe it's 2% by the time we're ready to retire. A lot of that's going to depend on how the overall interest rate environment continues to play out. David says, you're always on YouTube, James. Yeah, I know. I do quite a bit of live streaming. I really enjoy the heck out of this. And, we're in the middle of the pandemic still, and there ain't a whole lot else for me to do. So I appreciate being able to hop on here and surround myself with a couple of dozen friendly faces. Harry's got more than enough saved if you wanted to, but you do have plans to purchase a mortgage, which would use about half of it. The rest is enough to do basic day trading and profit, but it's not enough to generate livable income from. Ah, gotcha. CFDs are available in fairness, but they're risky. Got to have a lot of faith in the markets, which is 50-50 at the moment. Oh, I see. Yeah, so I guess with the market being so volatile, might be a hard time to get it started. But maybe if it settles down, and then your technical analysis will give you better insight or more confidence that you'll be able to keep that income going. That's when you may step into actually trading full time. Harry says, well, take out a mortgage, not purchase one. It's the house that would be getting purchased. Bad wording. Yeah, don't really purchase a mortgage, I guess, right? Nicole says, good advice. Thank you. Hopefully it helps. C, what's a good way to get started with stock options? Are the returns better than owning shares? Good way. yes, the returns are better than owning shares because an option is the option to buy 100 shares. So you're basically magnifying everything that would happen with a share with an option. There's so many different approaches. So I'm not going to suggest one way or another as far as what you should do. But you should definitely look into it. There's a lot to learn before you start getting into the options. And there's not any one option that you should do for any given situation or that you should do for all situations. So like you may do a certain types of option trading in this situation, certain type in this situation, certain type in this situation, and maybe you fluctuate between that and other ones. I mean, there's really so many different ways to approach it. But from what I've seen, from a cash flow perspective, options are the way to go. I can much more easily maximize my cash flow by the use of options because getting to control 100 shares costs a lot less than actually buying 100 shares. Costs a lot less. And the impact of actually owning 100 shares and the movement on those is lessened. The movement is lessened because the option that you buy doesn't move exactly with the stock price. So if you own 100 shares, the stock price goes up $1, your profit goes up $1, or it goes up $100, right? But if you own one option, it's going to depend where, or if you have a call option, it's going to depend on where along the spectrum that you bought that call option, because you could actually buy that option at any strike price, most any strike price. You're going to be limited. But depending on where you bought the stock price, deep in the money or out of the money, the delta of that is going to determine how much the value of that option changes based on each dollar that the stock moves. So you might have a 50 delta, which means if the stock price, the actual share price goes up $1, your option only goes up 50 cents. Now, you might think, oh, well, why would I do that? I mean, if it goes up, I want it to go up all the way. Well, it costs you less. It costs you a lot less to have control of those 100 shares. And oftentimes, you could control for the price of buying those 100 shares. If you're doing it on the same day, you might be able to control 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares for the cost of just owning 100 shares. So going up 50 cents then, or going up $1 if you owned those 100 shares, you could go up $10,000 or $1,000 if you owned the options. So from a cash flow perspective, I mean, it's also a quick way that you could go broke really fast if you make some bad moves. So this is why you've got to look into it. You've got to look into it and you've got to learn a way that you're comfortable doing it. Okay? Oftentimes those naked calls, naked puts, bad moves, because if you choose the wrong direction and the values, there's a thing called theta, which means you're losing value every minute that you own that option to buy something until it expires. There's a time component that you're paying for. Every time you buy an option, you're paying for some of that time component. So you've got to be aware of that. The closer you are to the expiration, the faster it closes, the faster that time component value reduces. So you got to be aware of that. But there are other options. There are ways to protect yourself. There are safer ways to utilize options. And a lot of that is things called spreads. So you might buy an option at X price, and then you'll sell an option either above it or below it, creating a spread, which limits your risk. So it'll limit your gains as well, but you take the good with the bad. But we can get some really good returns, even with those limited returns, even with limiting those risks and limiting the upside. So I'm looking at some of the spreads that I've been doing. I'm getting you can get maybe 10% return in just a few days, which is really solid. 10% return on the risk that you put into it. So I might risk $500 and I can get $100. That would be a 20%. And I've done that. I've done that a couple of times. So there's some really good ways to do that. And my risk in that situation is $400 because I get to keep that $100. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. If you're interested in more of that, join our Patreon group. Join the mastermind because I put these videos in there. Well, I put my strategies, what I'm doing in there so that you guys can see. Because I can't tell you to do one way or the other. I'm not licensed to suggest how should you be investing in the stock market. But I'm happy to share with you what I'm doing and do it in depth so that you can hopefully accelerate your learning process. If you just join the $1, I think you can get into the stock options education channel that we created in our Discord by just joining the Discord channel for $1, being our $1 patron. We're putting in there videos that we find that are very helpful in learning stock options education. We also have a market education channel where we're going to put in videos, or there are some videos in there that will just basically teach you about investing in the market. So there's so much out there. Now you could do all this stuff on your own too. It's certainly free. You don't have to join our group. You can just go to YouTube University and just start watching everything you can find. It's just not curated. So there's definitely value. It'll hopefully save you some time. Plus, if you ask questions in there, I will answer to the best of my ability. So, and yes, we have a cash flow mastermind real estate group as well. So our tier 3 has this channel specifically dedicated to real estate. So thanks for reminding me about that, Top Gun. Top Gun is in there. He is our real estate expert. He does wholesaling out of Kentucky. So real good source of information having to do with real estate. Harry knows a bit about real estate in the UK. He's in there as well. So we've got a bunch of bases covered in there. A lot of different ways to help folks out. You're welcome, C. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. About the options that we're doing. I'm excited. I'm going to make a trip out there to Kentucky. Me and Top Gun, we're going to get together. He's going to show me he's going to let me meet the team. And we'll get to see what's going on out there for some real estate. Yeah, there's a very knowledgeable group of folks in there. We got a really knowledgeable group of folks that get it here on the live streams too. It's awesome. People from around the world, and the value you get from all those different perspectives. It's really great. Really great. Top Gun says we're ready to have you. My arm is a little bit sore. I started working out yesterday again, and it's been a while. Harry Bowman says that would be a rather long road trip opportunity in the Model Y. I'm not going to drive out there. Not planning on driving out there. Gonna fly. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what's going on with the airlines. If I have to drive, I'll drive. We'll see if yeah, it would be. That could make a good video. Might be a long, boring video though. One of the other advantages to joining our Patreon group and getting in that Discord server is there is a product that just came out this last week. I don't know if you guys all saw. It's called Tesla Tequila. Very limited quantity was sold. I think it was like 20,000. Sold out in a couple of hours. Well, wouldn't you know it, I got one. I actually got a few of them. And I'm planning on giving one away to one of my patrons. So, with the tequila in it. So, if I can mail it to you legally, I will do that. If I can't, whoever ends up winning it, maybe I'll drive it over there, or if it's the UK, maybe I'll fly it over there when we end up going over there maybe next year. We are trying to make a Europe trip. So my plan, though, is to give one of those away to a patron when the S&P includes Tesla. So it'll be part of this celebration. S&P 500 includes Tesla. As long as you get into the Discord group prior to that, you have the opportunity to win. You have the opportunity to win. I know it's going to reduce your odds, but we got to get more people in there. Got to get more people in there. More people, more value. More people, more value. BDN, wear a steel mask while you're flying. A steel mask. I don't know what a steel mask is. But I do have a pretty nice, not a gas mask, but I have a nice chemical mask. Chemical mask. He's just kidding. Mask made of steel, I guess. Oliver, you made it. Joining the video late. Hope all is well. Yes, it is. Things are going good. My voice is doing better. Who knows how long it'll last this week, though, because I had a live stream earlier today. But I have done quite a bit less talking today, so that's good. Yeah, gas mask like one of the old World War II style ones. Stalin, good evening. Good evening to you. So, we have an interesting development here. I was sick last week. Just a regular flu, and I'm basically over it. But my son, who is the one who is at risk here, and why we've had to be very diligent in isolating ourselves for the last year, he was at his friend's house, and come to find out that his friend's mom got diagnosed with COVID. She had a positive test. Now, fortunately, she doesn't live there, but her daughter, who my son was hanging out with, had been exposed to her. So now we're quarantining him in his room, and we've got about let's see, I guess it'll be 2 more days, and then we'll take him out to get tested. So hopefully he won't have it. I mean, there's a minor possibility that he was exposed to it, but it's definitely a possibility. So did I see it's up over 22? I did see that. It was nice to see it come back up. When I check the price of that VSTO stock, I think of you, David. Thanks, BDN. Oliver, do I think Tesla will be above 470 by New Year's? I think there's a good possibility that we'll be above it by New Year's. I think there's a good chance, especially if we get the S&P 500 inclusion, that we'll go above it, even if it's just for a little bit, and it may come back down prior to New Year's. So by New Year's, I expect we'll go up over it, even if it comes back down. So I don't know that it'll go up and stay over 470, but I definitely think we can get there if we see the S&P 500 inclusion. Otherwise, I expect we'll get there after the fourth quarter results come out, fourth quarter earnings, and fourth quarter deliveries. So maybe shortly after New Year's. That's what I'm thinking. Stalin, thank you. Thank you. David, do I own it yet? No, I do not. I do not. My play right now is on space. Virgin Galactic. And I'm in on that with all my extra dollars until the end of this month. Till the end of this month. And then I may look at some other stuff. But I only own 5 different companies right now. And actually, I only own shares in one of those companies. I own options on the other 4. And options on that 5th one. So everything in my portfolio right now is options of some sort. Paulo, so used to saying good morning when you join your stream. You almost forgot it's 2:30 a.m. there. Oh, wow. Where are you at? 2:30 a.m. Are you out there in the UK also? You must be in the UK also. Harry says, honestly, gonna save your life. Go buy some blackcurrant Ribena. Pour it into a coffee mug, warm it up in the microwave, It'll do your throat wonders. Black currant Ribena. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Paulo says honey and tea works wonders. I've heard that as well. I usually don't ever have a problem with my throat though, so I've just been waiting it out. Top Gun, thanks for the tip, my man. Thank you for the tip. It's much appreciated. I haven't been getting any tips lately in our live stream, probably because Tesla's down. Everybody's kind of down along with the market. People aren't tipping their dealer. It's like sitting down at a blackjack table. When I'm running that live stream for the market, I'm like the dealer, and you gotta tip your dealer. But it happens when it's going. I know dealer ends up getting tipped better when things are going good. Not so much when things aren't going good. Okay, Apollo, you're in London. Nice. Thanks, Oliver. C, do you think SpaceX or Starlink will go public? I don't think SpaceX will go public just because I don't view that as a very good business model that you want to have shareholders making decisions for you. And I think that's how Elon feels as well. There's a lot of risk when it comes to that type of space travel. And I don't think he wants to be at the mercy of shareholders if, things inevitably go wrong, because sometimes they do. But Starlink, I do think so, because he's mentioned in his tweets. He mentioned something over the last month that I forget exactly what it was. It was something about Starlink IPO. Somebody said, if you do, make sure it's open to us regular investors and not just the insiders. And he said absolutely, because he loves the regular investors. So that was what he said in a tweet. So I have a feeling it will IPO someday. And that'll be huge. Starlink's going to be big. Stalin hates tea. Yeah, I'm not a tea fan either. Top Gun always tips the dealer. I know. I could tell. I appreciate that. As I'm your dealer today. Oliver, do you get more views when Tesla has a good day? Yes. When Tesla's up or when the market does something big, we get an influx of folks that tune in and watch. David, James, you know me. I build you a winning portfolio. Tesla, SQ, TDoc, which is a telehealth, DocuSign, and BSTO. Thanks. Abdul, good morning. 12 hours early today. See all the same peeps here too. I mean, are you dreaming? Not dreaming. This is our Wealth Care Wednesday live stream. Ask any financial question. Get a reasonably sane answer. No, I will do my best to help you guys maximize your cash flow. That's the purpose of this live stream. But it's open. So you got any questions, I'll do my best to answer it. Preferably we stick to finances, because I think a lot of folks can benefit from that. They may have similar questions but may be afraid to ask them. Or maybe they just don't think to ask them. And so if you ask it, I can answer and other people get to benefit from it. So that's my hope from this live stream. Also, if we get some good questions, I can cut out my answer and turn it into its own video. It kind of helps me to keep my videos being made throughout the week, even though I spend most of my time doing the live streams. And I basically don't have much time to do editing outside of that. Harry Bowman, thank you, my man. L499 is worth more than 5. Yep. Much appreciated. BDN, serve drinks, dealer, and you'll get tips. Yeah, we got to figure out how to do that. There is, I got to figure out how to turn it on. But I do have some badges that I'll be giving out to folks when I'm able to do that. But we do have some custom emojis that are available. And I don't know if those will only come up once I turn on memberships and I allow it. I don't know if those will do that or not. But we've got, let me see if I can put a couple in here. My computer's running a little slow. Oh, it's kind of freezing up a little bit. Come on, you could do it. What's that, water? Glass of water? Oliver, what do you think about paying cash for depreciating assets? I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, you basically have to do it if you don't have some other options. Looks like I missed some other comments. Let me check these out. I'll get back to that. BDSN says Starlink beta is greater than 100 megabytes per second now. Nice. Nice. Stalin, thoughts on Workhorse? Workhorse, that is one of the 5 that I am still in because we're waiting for that major contract. And so for me, I'm stuck with 100 shares that I own at $24. And in the meantime, I'm selling options. I'm selling call options. We call those covered calls. I'm doing that with those 100 shares, but rather than buying more shares and sitting on those, what I did was I bought deep in the money call options for 2.5 years down the road when I think, oh, there's plenty enough. That gives me plenty of time no matter when that contract comes in that I'm going to be able to take advantage of it. When the price goes up because of that, I'll be able to take advantage of that price going up. And in the meantime, I'll be able to sell covered calls against those and offset the cost of those calls. So that's what I'm doing for Workhorse. I'm bullish on Workhorse long term. We'll see how they can do with getting all the supplies that they need. But I do like Workhorse. You just got to have a plan in place to be able to either sit on the shares or the calls or the options and wait it out. The problem with options is the time. You lose time every day. You pay for that. So when I buy deep in the money options for 2.5 years out, I lose only a very little bit to time. Only a very little bit to time. And it gives me a lot of time to wait to take advantage of it when it goes up. Harry says, wait, are black currants allowed in the U.S.? Just read they were banned in the 1900s. That would explain why you don't know what Ribena is. Maybe. I have no idea. I don't even know what a black currant is. Top Gun, what's your favorite thing with your new Model Y? I haven't really driven it. I've only driven it a couple of times. The wife drives it. So my favorite thing with the actual Model Y that we have, I still like I like driving other people around in it and showing them how much get up and go it has. Even though we don't have the performance model, we just have the long range model, it still has some kick to it. Still has some kick. So it's a pretty fun drive. But I did buy the full self-driving. So I like using the full self-driving also. So that would probably be my favorite thing other than showing other people how quick it can go. Okay, so now, caught up to Oliver. What do you think about paying cash for depreciating assets? Preferably, I wouldn't be paying cash for any depreciating assets. Now, I funnel almost all my income through my life insurance policies. So when I'm deciding to pay for a depreciating asset, so let's say a car, or what else might be a depreciating asset that I might have to buy? A laptop. When I'm buying those things, I'm buying it with funds out of my life insurance policies that I'm going to end up paying back. And so I don't miss out on that compounding growth that I would have otherwise missed out on. Now, the way I'm paying for my car, I'm using options that I bought on Tesla, and I'm selling those options. And so I'm using that for income so that I can make my car payments. So that was why I decided to pull the trigger on buying the Tesla to begin with, was because I had a plan in place to be able to cover the car payments. Now, I just have to make sure that that keeps working. So that has to do with those long options that I'm buying, the deep in the money options, a couple years out, and then I'm selling the calls. I'm doing that for a steady income, or at least as steady as I can get it. Steady as I can get it. So I'm using that. So what I did was I took the cash that I originally had in my life insurance policy, I pulled it out of there, I put it in the market, and rather than just putting that cash on the car, I'm using that cash to buy an option that I'm selling a call on, and I'm getting the income from that. So that is my solution, rather than spending cash on a depreciating asset. So I want to be able to make sure that I have the income to cover it. That's a better way to do it. Because what happens in 5 years, when I've used those options to buy my car, I still own those options, and they're going to be worth a lot more. Now, currently, I don't have options that are out 5 years because you can't buy them out that long. But I've got them out 2.5 years. And in 2.5 years, those options that I bought that I'm going to be making income on that'll pay for my car, those options are going to be worth more than enough to pay for the car. Unless Tesla just tanks. In which case, better luck next time. I'll have to find another company. So there's definitely some risk involved. Costco, how do you avoid tax over day trading? I don't. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. Now, you can avoid that if you're using a retirement account. My preference is to use a Roth IRA to do your trading. I do have a Roth IRA, but I only have $6,000 in it, although it's up to $7,000 now. But I just started that last month. I'm already up over $1,000, and I get that tax-free. So it is a great place to do some day trading in. Unfortunately for me, I have that in Webull, and I can't trade options in Webull. Might be good, might be better for my retirement account, but I'm actually doing pretty good in it with the way it is now, because since I can't trade options, I basically don't hardly look at it. And because I don't hardly look at it, it does pretty good. I didn't do too hot when I was just day trading stocks. It was a little bit harder. I would do a lot of trades and harder to make some money. So take that for what it's worth. But in order to avoid taxes on the day trading, try and do it in a retirement account. That's my suggestion. Other than that, maybe buy some real estate and depreciate it. You should be able to depreciate it against gains in the market. Real estate has the best depreciation tax advantages out there. So that's another reason I got to get in touch with Bobby. Got to go out and meet him. Check out his crew in Kentucky, because I'm going to need to be able to offset some of this income. And I'm going to need to do that with some real estate. So that's also my plan. Harry, if you don't know what blackcurrant is, they must be illegal. That's crazy. Can't believe it. Mike G, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Abdul, Ribena is a drink you buy and mix with water to drink. Oh, is Ribena alcohol? What kind of drink is Ribena? BDN, so free car. Yes, that is the plan. The plan is that I will be able to pay for the car with the funds that I'm buying, that I would have been buying Tesla stock with. And that I ultimately might buy Tesla stock with, but I currently own the options to buy Tesla stock. BDM, full self-driving is now 10K. In January, you heard it's going to be 12K. Not sure. Yeah, maybe. It may go up again once they get it out there and it's advanced. It's certainly going to be worth it. Costco, real estate as in. That could be single-family rentals, multi-family rentals, duplex, triplex, quads. Could be more than that. There's all kinds of real estate that you can get in. What I'm looking at is just single-family rentals or quads, triplexes, or duplexes. That'll probably be what I step into first. Just because what I'm looking at doing is getting something out of state, and unless you get into something that's a huge number of rental units, you're not going to be able to have a management team. You're not going to be able to make enough to pay for a management team, and I'm not going to live there. So I've got to find somebody who can manage just a small portfolio. C, thanks for the tip. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the great info on stock options. If you trade stock options, I would recommend a Roth IRA. What's the easiest way to open a Roth? So if you want to do options within your IRA, within a Roth IRA, you have to go with the right broker. Fidelity allows you to do some trades within their Roth IRA, and I actually signed up to do that. But then I found out by working with BDN, I found out that they don't allow spreads. They don't allow the covered calls that I like to do. So I'm not going to be using them. I'm actually going to be opening an account with TD Ameritrade. I'm going to open an account with TD Ameritrade. I believe TD Ameritrade will let you do that. International brokers or interactive brokers, I think it's interactive brokers. Interactive brokers should also let you do that. There's some other ones that will let you do that, but you want to make sure that you talk to whatever company you want to do it with. Talk to them and make sure they're going to allow you to do what you want to do for trading. So my thinking is that I will eventually switch my Roth to probably TD Ameritrade or Interactive Brokers. I'm leaning towards TD Ameritrade though. I think the costs are a little lower there. Interactive Brokers is much better for day trading. Probably a quicker platform. But since I'm just doing options, I think I'll be okay with going with TD Ameritrade. And I'd rather have what looks to be a really, really good, well-designed layout that gives you a ton of information. So when I get that, I'm looking to open one of those accounts for my LLC right now. Once I get that opened up, I'll share it with you guys so you can see what it looks like. But that's what I would look at. And opening a Roth is super easy. All you need to do is just go to their site and ask them. You tell them you want to sign up for a Roth. I did it through Webull in, I don't know, it was probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I did it with Fidelity. It took me a little bit longer because they needed some other information because I was going to transfer it. But if you don't have a Roth currently and you're not going to transfer money from one into it, it's so much easier. You don't have anything to wait for. Jones says Tastyworks is good too. Yeah, Tastyworks is another good one. Top Gun says black currants were once popular in the United States, but became less common in the 20th after currant farming was banned in the early 1900s. Harry, off topic, but black currants were banned in the U.S. because they were killing pine trees in the U.S. and destroying logging industry. Oh, interesting. Some states have unbanned them now, but they are incredibly rare in the U.S. I still don't even know what they are. How would a black currant kill a pine tree? What is a black currant? The only thing killing trees around here are bugs. Infestations. Harry, they're so common in UK and Europe. One of the most popular flavors or artificial flavors. Interesting. And you say I'm missing out, but I still don't know what it is. The U.S. is a strange place indeed, Abdul says. Harry, but he loves the culture difference between the U.S. and UK. Love watching the videos like Americans trying UK candy or vice versa. C, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope it helps. If you have questions about it along the way, just feel free to reach out, especially if you join the Discord. Just put it in the Discord. And I'm always checking every channel in Discord, so. BDN has a pending call with Charles Schwab. Already the call options and still waiting. Okay. Yeah, let me know about that. Let me know about that. Top Gun says black currants were blamed for being a vector for white pine blister rust. Is black currant a fruit? Is it a vegetable? Is it an insect? Nobody said what it actually is. It's a fruit. Okay, there we go. That's helpful. Harry's going to put a picture of it in the Discord. Okay, we'll take a look there. Blackcurrant gives you the best vitamin C. Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I think the best place for vitamin C is probably oranges here in the U.S. All right, I'm going to check the Discord. Going to take a look at this here. Oh, they look like little grapes. Or cherries. Or blueberries. They actually look really close to blueberries. They look good. It's a fruit like a blackberry. Okay. Nice, nice. Yeah, they look a lot like blueberries. C. Does this apply to stock options? Long-term investments, those held for more than a year, are taxed at a lower rate than trades held for less than a year, which are taxed at the normal income rate. I'm not sure. I believe I briefly looked into this. I don't remember, but I believe that if you own the option for over a year, then it could be considered that. Most options are you're not going to hold for that long though. And if you're doing covered calls and things like that, those are going to be taxed at your normal income rate. So that's why you want to do it inside your Roth IRA. If you're doing them in your Roth, or even in a regular IRA or a 401k, then you got no worries to begin with. But yeah, you definitely want to get your strategy that fits whatever tax situation you've got. Harry, is it an insect? Europeans over there drinking insect juice. Hey, you never know. You never know. You know, they like to have insects and tacos south of the border here. So to each culture their own. C. Sounds like you need to open a Roth if you get seriously into options. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. You just got to be content with paying some taxes. You're only going to pay taxes if you're making money, so. But that's a great place to do it. It's a great place to do it. All depends on what your needs are. All depends on what your needs are. So, tax saving strategies. Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you didn't want to stick to just trading in your Roth, then you might look at other ways that you can offset it. And that would be like where we talked about real estate. Real estate's a real good way to do that. Top Gun, Roth is great for high growth. However, you're concerned about your trading size if you're only able to contribute $6,000 per year. Yeah, there is definitely a limit there. Hopefully I can turn that $6,000 into a lot more fairly quickly. But you do have the opportunity to do backdoor Roth conversions. So you can actually convert regular IRA funds or 401k funds into Roth IRA funds. So you can get your portfolio big enough. I just don't have a 401k. So I can't grow mine. I can't grow mine any quicker than the $6,000 that I can put into it. And I may not be able to contribute to it next year unless I can get some offsetting taxes, because I'm anticipating a substantial income that will make it so that I can't qualify to contribute. But then I could do a backdoor. I could still do a backdoor. The solo 401k, that was my wife's. I mean, I could probably contribute to it, but I haven't looked into doing that. Hadn't looked into doing that yet. Mostly because I didn't really want to tie any money up in a 401k. C, keeps getting cold feet with real estate. Self-employed, so low declared income on taxes. Very difficult to get financing besides owner financing, which is rare. Competition fierce, lots of cash buyers. Yes, all of that is true. Now, depending on which market you want to be in, if you end up in the Discord, you should talk with Top Gun Bobby. He does wholesaling, so he could definitely help you get hooked up with a couple of different ways to get into real estate. But basically, you can buy something from a wholesaler, get into it that way. You could become a lender, although that's not going to get you the tax deductions if you're just lending. Or you could even partner with somebody. You can maybe partner with somebody on a deal, and that might make it so that you can take advantage of some of the tax savings without knowing how to do that portion of it. So you can find somebody that knows how to do the hustle side, that can get in there and beat the competition, and just become a partner with them. Top Gun, if you max your contributions on your solo 401k, you may not go over limits to contributions for Roth IRA. Right. Nathaniel, is the Discord access free or question mark? And hello, been lurking for a while, enjoy your live streams. Appreciate it. Well, nice to see you speak up. The Discord access is not free, but it is a very, very low barrier. It's only $1. It's $1 per month. So I wanted to make it a little bit of a barrier so that we don't get any trolls in there, basically. And we don't have any. So even just putting $1 barrier up, it makes it a nice place to interact. So definitely hop on there. You can easily get $1's value worth. It does, and also know that it goes to helping me keep this thing up and going. Keeps me going on these live streams. So but it should, regardless, it should be more than worth it. That's my hope, is that everybody gets at least that much value out of it. How do you get to it? Let me put a link in here for you. The link is through Patreon. www.patreon.com/Oregon Cash Flow Pro. My monitor is still kind of freaking out on me when I try and type in the live stream. That's really weird. I don't know what it's doing. Hopefully that posted. I'm gonna get out of this and come back into it. See if I can. Uh-oh, page is unresponsive. Hopefully it's still streaming my feed okay. But my computer is being unresponsive. Uh-oh. I don't even have many windows open. What is the deal? Alright, let me see. There we go. My CPU is maxed right now. Why is it maxed out? Even my GPU is using a lot of it. So I apologize. Hopefully that's not messing with my stream. Need that M1 chip. No kidding. Okay, yeah, there's the link. Patreon.com/Oregon Cashflow Pro. If you go to that, just pick whatever tier sounds best for you. The minimum tier will get you into the general channel and into the stock channels. The next step up, the $5 tier, gets you into infinite banking and dynamic banking channels. And that's where if you're putting questions in there asking about those things, I'll be able to help you out. It's good to have their own channels for that. And then we have our cash flow mastermind, which is $50 a month. $50 a week? No, I didn't. I don't charge anyone $50 a week. Although maybe you joined right before the end of the month. And so it might have cost you 2 weeks in a row. Because the way that Patreon does it is like if you sign up on it, they'll charge you at the beginning of each month. But if you sign up the day before the end of the month, they'll charge you right then for that month, and then they'll charge you the next day for the next month. So it can be rough. If that happens to anybody, let me know, and I'll refund. I don't want you guys paying double. I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate the funds. It definitely helps me out, but that's not the main goal of that. So I'm not. I don't want anybody thrown for a loop getting charged twice in a row. Okay, so C says real estate, something that's been clawing at you for 10 years now. Still haven't gotten involved despite years of reading books and Bigger Pockets podcasts. Love Bigger Pockets podcasts. Yeah, sometimes, it's hard to take that leap because you don't have the experience to do it. Even though you've got all the education. Best thing might be to just find somebody to partner up with. That'll get you over that hump. Yeah, Top Gun says he has some insights he'd be willing to share. Hop in the Discord. C came close to buying a cheap house across the country, but you don't fly, and it was a 5-day drive. Felt like buying a long-distance house as your first was going to be a bad move. Still not sure. Yeah, that's tough. BDN, check the task and kill the high process. The high process is Google and Streamlabs, which both of the things that I don't need the Google, but I do need Streamlabs. It's down now. I don't know why it was up, but now it's down to 59%. I think it's just because I was monitoring the live chat through there, and it takes up a lot more effort. But now it's down to 53%. It was up to 100% though. Not good. My memory is at 62% right now. And now even the GPU is down 29%. And it was up to 89%. So yeah, Streamlabs uses a lot. But that's the price I pay to do this live stream. That's why I need that fancy Mac that Harry put in the Discord. And for those of you who didn't hear that earlier, he put a $54,000 MacBook Pro in the Discord. $54,000 for one computer. Had some pretty dang nice specs. It could easily handle a live stream. So if I hit it big, maybe I'll look into it. Top Gun to C. Where are you located? Oh, you're in Oregon. Where are you at in Oregon, C? Maybe you've told me before, but I don't remember. Abdul says the M1 chip looks awesome. The house you almost bought was in Ohio. Oh, that would have been a good place. Ohio's got a number of really hot cities. It was going to be a project, though. Wasn't sure if you wanted to live in Ohio for 6 months to fix it. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that can be tough. That can be tough. Harry says, it does. Shame I couldn't wait any longer to be able to get it. Oh, yeah, the M1 chip. Talking about that M1 chip. Top Gun, his username is Strebitel on Discord. I'm not even sure how to say that. You got to tell me where that name came from, Top Gun. Maybe it'll help me pronounce it. Yeah, he doesn't have Discord. We'll have to set it up. Discord's nice and easy. Good advice. Think partnering might be key. Need that extra push. Yeah, partnering can get you that extra push you need. For sure. For sure. It definitely sounds like, because for me, that's kind of the same thing. Like, I know I'm actually a realtor, but even still, for me to get into something across country, it's hard. It's hard for me to make that decision because I tend to like to be in control, and I would want to be out there. I would want to, I don't know. There's so many things that I tend to want to be in control of. I have a hard time getting something across the country that I essentially have no control over it. So I'd feel way more comfortable if I partnered up with somebody that lived near there, that could have that type of, give me that sense of comfort knowing that they're nearby, right? Otherwise, if I could do something here locally, I would, but our costs are so expensive here. Abdul was just joking. Okay. Good. Nathaniel has a question. He's a long-term investor. Are any in this Discord, or is it an options day trading type of content? Oh, long-term investor. There are long-term investors in there. We don't talk a whole lot about it though yet, but people just haven't brought it up. Harry says he does day trading, long-term, and technical analysis, and regularly posts the analysis. Yeah. So definitely, I mean, with the type of options that I'm doing, they're long-term investing options. A lot of it is for long-term. So I will take a company that looks good long-term, and I'll buy an option for that long-term. So rather than just buying the shares. So I consider myself a long-term investor in Tesla. Definitely a long-term investor in Tesla. I am very bullish on that company. I'm just doing it in a way that is better for my cash flow by using options. But absolutely, definitely hop in there. We could definitely use a different voice, especially someone willing to ask some questions and keep the conversations going. BDN, get a new PC. Yeah, I know, I need to. This laptop I got it for editing video, and it does that okay. It does it pretty good. Much better than my previous laptop, but it doesn't handle the streaming real well. Top Gun says you can download Discord for free to your phone, PC, Chrome, Mac, etc. Yeah, downloading Discord's real easy. Or you can just use it in a browser too. I think you can just use it in a browser as well. Harry says not just on Tesla either. Yeah, we've got folks that are into all different kinds of stocks. So, wide variety. Harry says it can handle your live stream on one core and 27 other people's on its remaining cores. That's for that $54,000 Mac. Yeah. C, grew up in Ashland, live in Portland from 2013 until COVID hit. Now you're back in Ashland. Oh, all right. Cool, cool. Nathaniel, he lives in Ohio. It's a unique place for sure. Whereabouts in Ohio? I've heard there were some really good investments in, what were the cities currently? Can't think of them. I'd have to look at a map. Can't think of them. There's two of them that are fairly popular right now. I'm sure living there, though, you're probably surrounded by a whole lot more where you can pick up some good priced property. BDN. Most of you guys are living in low or no tax places. Yeah, BDN is jealous. He's in California. Harry says, don't worry, he lives in the UK. We're 4 countries in one. And yeah, BDN used to live there too. He says, just one tax, no negotiation. Top Gun doesn't know how to change his nickname on Discord. Oh, there you go. Harry can tell you how to do it. His big favorite recently has been American Express. Yep. Nathaniel, no one has heard of yours probably. It's Youngstown, Ohio area. You're actually 1 hour between Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1 hour from Cleveland, Ohio. Kind of cool. Oh, nice, nice. I know some areas surrounding Cleveland has had some good investment opportunity. Good investment opportunity there. Yeah, BDN's in California. He says 9.75% tax. We gotta tax up close to that here in Oregon as well. Although that's the state tax. You might have city tax to deal with too. We don't have any city taxes, thankfully. Costco, can we get real estate in Nevada to save tax? Yeah, you can get real estate anywhere in the U.S. and depreciate it to save taxes. The thing with depreciating real estate is it can only offset passive income. It can only offset passive income. I think it might be able to offset up to $3,000 of regular income, but the rest of it has to be passive income. So that's where your market gains are considered passive income. So you should be able to write off some market gains with your real estate. Nathaniel, max out his Roth every year. Do index fund investing. Oh, gotcha. No bonds since you're 22 years old. You do have 15 shares of Tesla in your brokerage account. Tesla is definitely long-term for me too. That is great. At 22, I love hearing that you're maxing out your Roth every year because you have so many years for that to compound. That's incredible. You're off to a wonderful start. I wish I did that when I was your age. That's going to be great. That's going to be great for you. Columbus, that's it. Columbus is a great place to invest. Harry says Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Springfield, Dayton, Toledo. That's all he knows about Ohio. Any of those? If not, you might need to look on Apple Maps. No, Columbus is what I was thinking of. Columbus, and then somewhere outside of Cleveland. Somewhere outside of Cleveland, I think, was the other one. It might even be a suburb of Cleveland that I'm thinking of. But Columbus for sure. BDN, when he bought his Tesla, he used the Tesla Zip and saved some sales tax, where it's only 9.25%. Oh, still rough, but yeah, you gotta save where you can. Harry says Columbus is pretty cool. Have you been to Columbus? I have never even been to Ohio. Actually, I might have driven through Ohio. Pretty sure I drove through Ohio, but I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it because I didn't really stop. Nathaniel, thanks. Appreciate it. Love investing. Simple for him, though. Do want to continue to learn, maybe enhance your knowledge about option trading. Yeah, there's definitely some good opportunities when it comes to options. But it's not something that anybody should get into without first learning how to do it. It is a quick way to get hurt. Quick way to get hurt. With the strategy that I'm doing currently, I'm having really good success with it, but I'm still losing every time I get FOMO and I try and do a different type where I'm just buying calls or puts. It's so hard. So hard when you just do your straight calls and puts. It's just like buying your stock and doing your day trading, except if you guess the wrong direction immediately and it really moves against you, you don't have time for it to come back. Or it's really hard if it doesn't come back quickly because you lose so much to time. Because half of the cost of most of the options you buy, you're paying for the time before expiration. So you're fighting against the clock constantly. If it's anything that's close to expiring, it accelerates as it gets closer. And if you don't know how to handle that or manage it, you can get in trouble quickly. And I'm learning a lot though. I'm learning a lot. And I'll be sharing it. I'll be sharing it with folks too. So we'll be sharing what we learn. Nathaniel, seems risky, but you love learning about new things in the market. So this would be a thing for you to learn more about. It's definitely a good thing to learn about because I think that ultimately options are a better way to go. Certainly, if you want to actually just buy shares of companies, I would absolutely use options to do it. Absolutely use options to do it. So, consider this. Let's say you wanted to buy, now you got to buy 100 of them. So here's the trouble. You got to buy 100 of them. 100 shares at a time. But let's say you wanted to buy 100 shares of Tesla. 100 shares of Tesla right now cost you $41,700. Okay, $41,700. You could, a couple of different ways you could do this. You could buy the 100 shares right away and sell a covered call against those shares as soon as you buy them. And you could probably sell a covered call against them for $1,000. That is maybe $5 higher up. $5 more than wherever you bought it at, wherever you paid for them at. So what that $1,000 can do, that's essentially like reducing your cost by $10 a share. So if the stock price goes down, you just saved yourself $10 per share off of the $417 that you paid for each share. So $407. You essentially got them for $407. Now, if the stock price goes up, let's say it goes up and over that $5 call that you sold, well, then you might have to sell those shares. So you would have to sell those shares. But you get to keep that $1,000 and you sell the shares for an extra $500 profit. So you're going to walk away with at least $1,500. At least $1,500. And then you can do the same thing the next week. You could try and buy them again. Okay? So it's just like you bought the shares for $417, sold them for $432 a share. And you could do that in the span of 1 week. And then you don't have any shares again, but you have a bunch of cash and you could do it again. You could buy some more shares, do it again. Or on the flip side, you could sell a put. If you sold a put, you could sell a put for probably $1,000, just underneath wherever the stock price is. Now you sell a put for $1,000. If the stock price goes down below that put, now you just bought those shares for, let's say you did it for $5 less, so $412 a share. You bought it for $412 a share, and you got $1,000 to do it. So now it's like you just bought the shares for $402. If, however, the stock price goes up, you still get to keep that $1,000. You just don't own any shares. So you try again the next week. And so you get $1,000 in the meantime for waiting. So there's definitely ways that you can utilize options. Even if you're just looking to buy the shares long term, it puts you in a better position immediately. Yeah, BDN, you do need to do that. We haven't gotten to that point yet for you. we've been struggling just to get you in a comfortable position to do anything. Top Gun's having trouble verifying his account from his computer. Phone is fine though. Okay. Nathaniel, all things are risky until you understand what you're investing in. Yeah, they can still be risky even if you understand it. It's just, you might consider them a manageable risks at that point. Harry says it's risky to leave your money devaluing in cash, technically. Personally, I'd say having emergency fund and any money you'll need within 3 years held in cash, invest the rest. Oh, boo. Haven't I taught you anything yet, Harry? Maybe you haven't. You probably haven't been in these Wealth Care Wednesdays. But you keep your emergency fund and cash you'll need in your life insurance policy where you get guaranteed growth that will beat inflation. You get guaranteed 4%. Now maybe you don't have that there in the UK. So I'll forgive you for not knowing that. But that's what my whole channel is about. My whole channel is about getting that emergency fund and cash that you might otherwise just have sitting around earning almost nothing in a savings account. Make those dollars do multiple jobs. And those multiple jobs are saving, growing, compounding for the rest of your life, providing a death benefit, but also remaining liquid so that you can still use it anytime you need to. So, Top Gun, never invest in something or someone you don't know. Harry, in the UK we have an investment product called OEIC, Open-Ended Investment Company. You believe in the US you have mutual funds, which are basically the same thing. Yep. Top Gun says, Harry, your emergency fund should be held in cash value permanent life insurance. Yep, in his opinion. Harry says, that works. Liquid is the important thing. It is liquid. It is liquid, for sure. Nathaniel, didn't know about the 100 share minimum. Like I said, I know nothing about it. Don't plan on doing it at all for a long time, if at all. Just love learning. No worries, no worries. Yeah, the reason it's a 100 share minimum is because that's what each option is. The option that you're buying is the option to buy 100 shares. And the options are really cheap. So it basically gives you control of 100 shares for a lot less than actually buying 100 shares. Top Gun to Harry. Yes, it needs to be liquid, but it should be put to work in a de-risked asset. BDN. I'll have another call with Fidelity Manager and discuss about the error. That'd be good. That'd be good. Support Humanity. How you doing? Can you teach on selling contracts? You forgot how. On selling contracts. I'm assuming you're talking about either selling calls or selling puts. So we have the option to sell covered calls or to sell cash covered puts. Not necessarily something I'm ready to dive into yet here. It's definitely something people need to learn about though, and I have put plenty of those videos into the Discord, into the options education channel. But there's a lot that goes into it. I will tell you, one thing that you have to know if you get into options, don't let them expire. You always close your option before it expires. I've heard a lot of horror stories of a share price changing drastically right at the end of the day or just after close, and it suddenly puts people's options in the money, and they end up finding out that they have to buy 100 shares that they weren't expecting to. So you've got to avoid that. You always have to close your options before they expire. So that is the biggest thing that everybody who wants to do options has to know to do. Nathaniel says his emergency fund is a full 1 year of expenses, but it's in a high yield savings account online with Discover. Sadly, their APY is 0.55% due to the COVID situation. Yeah, those aren't too good. What you suggest doing something different with that money? Yes. Check out my videos. Check out my videos on infinite banking. Infinite banking. Look up Infinite Banking Explained. And there's one called Infinite Banking Investing for Your Future, I think, or Investing in Your Future Self, something like that. It'll basically explain the concept to you and why you should consider putting them into a cash value life insurance instead. And at your age, starting out at your age, oh man, great time to do it. And in fact, at your age, I would actually suggest looking at an IUL, which is an Index Universal Life Policy. That ties your growth to an index in the stock market. So you have greater potential growth. And you have so many years of compounding ahead of you. That would work out really good for you. And it wouldn't even take a whole lot of contributions to it. But a lot of people do it in place of or to complement or supplement their Roth. Because there's no $6,000 limit. You're limited based on how much death benefit you're paying for. But really good opportunity to get a nice return out of those. And it's in a safer environment. Safer environment. Top Gun. What if you could get 4 to 6% tax-free, plus give your beneficiary a massive tax-free death benefit? And have extreme liquidity. Top Gun. If only we knew someone who specializes in such a product. That would be this guy. That would be this guy. Support. He has shares he wants to sell monthly call options. I guess that's what it's called. Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you have, do you own 100 shares of something? Support humanity? I think you're in our Discord, aren't you? If you're in the Discord, I can tag you with a video that you should watch. But you should definitely get into the options education channel. Because I put in a few videos there about selling covered calls. Put in a few videos about selling covered calls. And that's definitely where you should focus. And once you watch those videos, feel free to message me about it. If you have a particular stock in mind and you want to know what I would do. But I make myself available like that to folks that are in our Discord. So it's Tesla. Oh, nice, nice. So you have a good opportunity. You have a good opportunity then selling covered calls. You just have to be able to do it safely. And that's where we should definitely have a conversation. Because I've learned a few things about how to do that. C is in the same boat. Made an emergency fund in Wealthfront. Now the APY is like 0.33. Are rates ever going to go back up? Hard to say. May not be for a while. We're in a very low interest rate environment. And it doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. Nathaniel, sign this man up for your spokesperson for your channel. He's hyping you up and it's awesome. I know, I know. It's great. It's great. And what's funny is that Top Gun owns one of these policies and he didn't get it from me. He bought it before he met me. Thanks so much. You got some homework to do. Yeah, you do. Check out the videos. Definitely. So I always urge everybody, watch those videos. Once you watch those videos, if you still have questions, you can sign up for a meeting with me. Everybody can get a free 20-minute consultation with me at, I'm going to put my Calendly. It's at Calendly. Let me put it in the chat. But you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it before you watch the videos, because otherwise it's like drinking from a fire hose. I've got way too much information to put out about this stuff. You'll have a much better time grasping it if you've seen the videos first. You'll get a lot more value out of our one-on-one meeting if you see the videos first. So I'm going to put it in here. Calendly.com/cashflowpro. Did this thing freeze up again? No. Okay, don't go with that one. It didn't keep... Oh, this stupid thing. There. Okay, there's the Patreon or the Calendly link. I give at least 20 minutes to everybody at no cost. That's a consultation. If you want to do, people can do paid consultations if they want to as well. I certainly appreciate folks that want to pay me for my time because I only have so much of it to give out. But I'm definitely happy to help anybody that I can. So once you watch the videos, do your homework. If you got questions about it, even if you're still not sure if it's right for you, let's meet up. We could talk about your situation and see exactly what products might fit and might help. And I actually don't tell everybody that there is a product. There may not be a life insurance product that fits your situation at this time. So I think for most people there's something that can work, but it may not be the right time for other folks. So I don't do it just to make a sale. I definitely try to match any recommendation I make has to match whatever your actual financial needs are. Can you withdraw out of this account whenever you want without penalty? So you use it like a savings account? Yes. Yes. You don't actually withdraw. You do a loan against it. And it works just like a line of credit. It works just like a line of credit. And when you pay it back, it's like you're paying yourself back, because while you borrow against it, you're actually just collateralizing the money in the account. So you're going to pay interest to the insurance company, but the insurance company is still going to grow that policy equal to, sometimes greater than, sometimes a little bit less than, however much you pay in interest. Depends on the carrier that you use. Abdul, thanks. Enjoy. 3:34. Okay, good night. Thanks for joining us. Support. Watched few of your daily Test the Morning shows. All right, cool. Harry says he's young like you, Nathaniel. Honestly, keep asking questions like these, doing research, taking advice like you are, and you'll do very well. Compounding is very effective. That's right. Over longer times. BDN to Top Gun. Did you try this? Change your name in Discord. Change nickname. Oh, good. You got it changed. Nice. He fixed it. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, Harry's one of our moderators in there, so he can... I didn't know you can change people's names. You might be able to just change their name in our particular community. Is that what it allows you to do? Probably doesn't allow you to change their name in all of Discord. All right, we've been going now for an hour and 40 minutes. My throat is doing okay, but it feels like it's a little bit stressed. So we're going to call it a night in our Discord server. Okay, yeah. I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate the conversations, guys. Good questions out there. Top Gun, we used your voicemail question, so you got another prize. You know how to claim it. He's not a literal wizard. You're welcome, Nathaniel. You're welcome. See, thanks for the info. Join the Discord soon. Right on, right on. We'll keep an eye out for you. It'll definitely be worth it. Definitely be worth it. And if you need help joining it, when you sign up for the Patreon, we can chat in Patreon itself and make sure that you find the right channel. But Harry is one of our moderators, so you can always ask Harry questions as well. But you won't be able to ask Harry questions in Patreon, just once you get into Discord. So yeah, would love to see you guys in there. Would love to see you in there. All right, guys, I'm gonna take off for the night. Remember, if you want to get one of those prizes, you want a cool cash flow shirt, one of our books, Becoming Your Own Banker, or The Retirement Miracle, you can get one of those free gifts. All you got to do, leave a voicemail message on my website, OregonCashflowPro.com. There's a little button right on the edge that says, leave a voicemail message. And we'll play that message live here, and I'll answer the question. So if you leave the message and I play it here, you win the prize. No more spinning the wheel. No more spinning the wheel. All right, I can feel my voice going. So I'm going to say goodnight, play you guys out with some music, and we'll see most of you in the morning. And for everybody else, we'll see you next Wednesday. Have a good night. Honey in my hot chocolate. Does that work? Or do I have to have tea?